everyone, and welcome to another Polo and Tweed live feed video. My name is Lucy Challenger, I'm the CEO of Polo and Tweed.
And I'm Ruth, I'm one of the recruitment and training consultants here at Polo and Tweed.
And today we're going to be talking about a topical subject. Over the weekend I interviewed with BBC Radio 1 Matt and Molly on the Weekend Breakfast Show, and they were talking to me about the wonderful world of butlers. And if you missed the interview, you can watch it on our live video feed earlier on over the weekend, so do catch up on it because it was a really fun interview to take part in. But they were talking to me about butlering and wanting to know more about it. So we're going to share some other tips and info about the wacky and wonderful world of butlers.
And indeed it is an interesting conversation to have, and to begin with, the difference between a modern butler and a traditional butler. So modern butler can be very much more casual, perhaps less formal. A traditional butler, probably if you think along the lines of Downton Abbey, Mr. Carson, he's very much a traditional butler. He has that very defined line where he does not cross, and he keeps the upstairs and the downstairs very separate, and he is also he's dressed very formally as well, with his morning suit, whereas a less formal, informal household, he may just be a butler who has, or even a lady. In fact, we don't have to have just men. There are female butlers too, in particular in the countries where households are segregated.
Yeah, so the Middle East, for example, where you typically have, gender separation within the households, and it would be inappropriate for men to serve the female principals and vice versa. You would have the female butler or the lady's maid serving the female principal, and equally the male butler serving the male principal.
Absolutely, and for a less formal situation, they could be in a polo shirt and smart chinos, a more relaxed feel about them, but they're still there to provide that service, to be there to preempt things that your principal's going to want. So there are sometimes some interesting requests.
Very interesting, wacky and weird and wonderful requests that we get asked for butlers. So I don't know if you were following our feedback at the end of last year, but we were requested to send 45 British butlers to Riyadh, where Riyadh was having their first ever music festival, the Beast Festival, and our butlers were jetted out to Saudi in order to serve in all the VIP boxes, and we were only given 10 days notice on that, so it was a little bit of a crazy 10 days at Polo and Tweed headquarters. But needless to say, the 45 butlers went out, served the king, the queen, the princesses, all these amazing royalty out there, and had an amazing time. And we also have had requests for butlers who can teach yoga to their principals. So, if you're a butler who has yoga skills, or indeed if you're a yoga instructor and want to become a butler, you're ticking that box. We've had requests for butlers who can bake professionally. We've had, of course, the skiing butlers with helicopter licenses. And then one particular strange request a butler once had was that his principal, who was a female lady, she had read about how the psychology of being around puppies, as in dogs, can make you feel better. So she requested that her butler found her a number of puppies to come and be with her for the day. So this butler had to go and ring around all these places, use his little black book of contacts, and find lots of little beautiful cute puppies, which I think personally we should bring into the Polo and Tweed office and have a Polo and Tweed puppies day where we can have dogs running around and playing, because we all love dogs here. And indeed she felt so much better after it that she then went on to get lots of dogs full-time with her. So there are always weird, wonderful and wacky requests that butlers will be asked for, and the job of a butler is simply to go, sure, let me figure it out, let me do it for you, and get it done.
And to not blink, just to take it in their stride and sort things out for them. So as part of that, often they're asked to organise for maybe the principal to travel somewhere, or for a group of people to travel somewhere at very short notice, and so often they're working on jets, private jets. That is a very different experience to travelling on a charter flight, like most people do. They are used to that, and they know how to organise all that for their principal, as well as there will be butlers on yachts. Those obviously you need to be have your sea legs for those situations, because you will be working at sea, and they will travel all over the world with their principals. Great exciting trips. We hear all sorts of things about how our candidates go off across the world to do exciting things with their principals as part of their job. So being there, understanding how travel works and making things happen for their principal is key.
Yeah, but at the heart of all of that is discretion, and that is the number one rule of the butler, is that everything you see, hear and witness as part of your service you should keep private and discreet, because your principal or principals are relying on you to keep that privacy. So how do you actually become a butler? Well, there's lots of ways you can become a butler. You've really got to want to enjoy the service side of things, and you should ideally have the skills as well. So things like silver service, house and yacht management, knowing about housekeeping, these are all skills that directly relate to being a butler. So firstly, you can enroll in training courses. Polo and Tweed offer lots of training courses. You can also look to join more established training providers. For example, the British royal family, every butler that they recruit, they take through their own in-house training. And a lot of hotels and, you know, the British royal family will do their own training. There's not that many service providers outside of the royal household and Polo and Tweed. So do your research, you know, look at the reviews, speak to people who've been on the training courses, look at previous graduates from the training courses, and see what's right for you and your budget, etc. And then start getting experience. So the more you can get, you know, real life experience, the more likely you are to cross over into this very specific world. And you really have to enjoy service. I think that's what I come back to sort of more and more with who should be a butler. It's not a job for everyone. You've got to really love finding the perfection in what you do and wanting to go the extra mile for someone else. You have to be that type of pleasing personality. It's not about yourself, it's about someone else.
And being prepared to work long hours. It isn't a 9 till 5 job. This is long hours, being available to your principal. But of course you do get recompensed for that.
Yes, you get paid well. And, you know, we have seen butlers starting on 40,000 gross a year, going over 100,000. Yes, 100,000.
It's a big number.
It's a big number for those really experienced and really specific placements. But you give your life to the job, you know. It's often, we get a lot of military background candidates coming through and transferring into butlers because they understand service, they understand how to take direction and orders, and they understand how to give total commitment. And that's key with being a butler, because you do give your life to the service. And it circles back again to me saying you have to feel that it's the right role for you. It's not for everyone, but those that do it have the most incredible life, incredible experience, and as Ruth said, incredible salary benefits. So I hope today's been a helpful chat. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about the wacky and wonderful world of butlers. If you would like to become a butler, drop us a line. If you've got any questions specifically about what butlers do, or you want to know more, or if you want to become a lady's maid, a female butler, a valet and specialise in clothing, you know, there's all these subsets within the world of butler. We'd love to hear from you. If you're looking to hire a butler, give us a call, you know where to find us. And thank you so much for your time today. It was a pleasure to see you all, and have a lovely afternoon.
Bye.